Well, hello Sony. I said hello Sony because I'm shooting this with my Sony Alpha 6600 6600. Oh my gosh. Sometimes when I hear people who talk, who try, who, who try to talk a different language, they seem so dumb. So maybe I also feel so dumb, and maybe it would be better if I just write my speech down and then just to read it voiceover. I wanted to do this, but I wanted to be raw, I wanted to be sincere, I wanted to be true for myself, because I think this contest is something that I really need right now. I always look differently at my life, but I don't change anything. Well, I change, but just bits of my life. So it would be great if I look upon my life and in the way to change it somehow. Well, it's how to say, it's pierceful, it's intense topic to tell what, who, and where do I live, because it's also different. First of all, I am 37 years old. I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to be a director. You see, this is Giulietta Mazina. She's wife and muse and angel of my favorite director, Federico Fellini. And I almost, I don't know, I just can't help. I'm always have wet in my eyes if I think about Federico Fellini. Maybe because of my sensitivity. But really, Fellini is a synonym of cinema for me, and I always wanted to be like him and to create my dreams and to release my dreams, to make my dreams seen by other people, and to release my thoughts seen by other people in the in the moment when I think it, these thoughts. And our times, they are brilliant for making yourself understood and for shaping your thoughts in in storytelling in visible form. But I don't use all this great well, I use some, but I'm not such a rank like Federico Fellini, you know. Well, I do film some films all the time, like just my life, which is changeful, and I always have my camera with me. In the old days, it was Handycam. It was my old camera. Do you want to see it? I'll show you. Well, who am I? I was this camera. It is Sony VG20, and now it's dead. I used to shoot for 8 years with it, with non-stop. Well, and now I shoot with this camera. It's Sony Alpha 6600, you know. It's a great camera with my micro lens on it. So what was I talking about? Who am I? Who am I really? I made some short films. I made films with kids. I was a teacher of cinema, and we used to study the principles of cinema, like Kuleshov effect, or just simple things, how to create stories, how to make poetry visible of life, poetry of life. So, and we made some films with kids when I worked at some schools, but now I don't, I'm not a teacher this year, and I had I have a long problem with my film, which I wanted to shoot with one shot for a mobile cinema contest, and film got bigger, then got smaller, and now we just shot we had just shot Tantan, but it's not such a film at all, because my leading actress, she left our city, and I had a lot of problems in myself. What am I shooting? And I wanted to make this film bigger than I want in the beginning. Really, it's a blog challenge, and I don't really know if you're still watching. So, but let me just talk and tell. Also, I have a tea. I wanted to make some tea. I have a water boiling here. Well, it's clear. It's totally clear that cinema is my passion. I don't want to say some sad things like жаловаться. How to say? I don't want to жаловаться. I want to say some regretful things, but I do regret that I didn't went out from my city and to study cinema somewhere in more cinematic cities than my own city. My own city is Samara, and it's not such a center of cinematography at all. It's just industrial city in the central Russia. It's such a beautiful city. You will see, because you wanted to see where do I live. Um, it's totally brilliant city, but not so. It's not. We don't shoot cinema. There is not films here. People who want to be in the cinema, they get out. But I stayed, and I'm doing just my daily routine. Like I film with my Sony cameras. I filmed a lot of events, holidays, lectures, concerts, and weddings, which I hate. And I love weddings when they're on, when I'm on wedding. It's such fun. But then when you sit to edit this, I feel that my life is flashing by, and I'm doing not right things for me. So I made a lot of events, and I always thought that it's not the purpose of my creativity, it's not the purpose of Sony creativity. I mean, it's not the purpose to use these brilliant cameras just to shoot these events. Well, it's my passion, and also I need to say about my occupation. I have money from my shooting, and also I have some money when I sing. I sing in a Russian church. I will show you here. There will be some. You'll see. Well, you see this, right? I cut it. I cut it in how I sing, right? So I sing in a Russian church till now. I'm 37. 37. 37. 30. 30. But I went to Russian church 12 years ago, and I was very. I still am very. How to say? По-русски это будет очень впечатлительно, impressive. I'm easily to get impressed by something, and if I don't, well, it's just my star, it's just my horoscope to be such a passionate person. So when I believed in God, then I wanted to be a priest. So, and I went to study theology, and but then I went to cinema school at fifth course. It was the last year of my theology education when I went to study cinema at local cinema school. So I was expelled from seminary, and I still believe I still sing at Russian church in spite of my great questions, because really I didn't really ask myself about Russian mentality at all. And this mentality is very slavery, and Russian church is one of the tools, is one of the учреждения, it's one of the establishment. Maybe it's not right choice of word, establishment. Well, Russian church is a tool of making people think slavely, like slaves, in a slave style, you know. And now I really want to be more free. I really want to reach freedom for myself in art and in my personal life, and I really would like people here to be more free. And I don't think that Russian church is a place where they say you how to be free. They say you another, how to be slave. So maybe it's not a great choice for me to be still there on my singing place there. I have money from that. I have money for singing in church, and that's the reason for me to be there, because I can do that. It's a professional choirs, and I sing from my first grade at school, for 3 decades I'm singing. So, and sometimes music there in church, I like it very much. Sometimes not, because the melody is different, and music difference, and service differs from service, and so on. But I like to think, I like to sing, and I like to. It's not a problem for me. I just go there. It's not so long way from my house, and I just stay, and I just sing, and I just having fun. Oh, I don't feel problems. Just sing. Well, also I sing, I like to sing everywhere. I like to go to karaoke with my friends and with my friends from choirs, and also I sing at city choir here in Samara. And I want to quit this choir also, just like I want to quit choir, church choir, because I don't like music in city choir. We just, I wanted to sing some beautiful music like Mozart and Bach and Rachmaninoff, you know, great a cappella music, great choir works. But instead of this, we just think we think at local holidays like you know, Victory Day, or you know, Day of Constitution of Russian Federation, Independence Day, you know. And I think that it's all just mockery of my beliefs, to take participation in these patriotic events, because I'm not such a patriot of this state. But I'm still singing as far as I can, and I'm just feeling as far as I can. Well, such a vlog of me, I mean that it's a contest, right? And I wanted to make such a video to be a winner, and instead of this I'm trying to understand myself, and to it's a kind of shrinking after shrinking. So it's just me. It's just how I always am. I always put some of my character, I put a lot of my heart in all of stuff that I'm doing. Maybe it's not such a intense, it's 22 minutes how I talk with my poor language, but I try, and if somebody interesting, if it is interesting, well, I need to cut them. I would like to say about my city and about my place where I live. I live in the city. I live in the center of the city, in a 24 grades, 24 floors building in a flat, and my flat is beautiful, and my something that I see from my window is beautiful. You see, it's autumn in our York of Samara. It's very well, I think it's beautiful. Maybe it's not so beautiful as you see it. It's just a highway there, and just a park. I have a, you see, no, I'll show you. I have this great view from, this is local, it's a television, it's local television, and this is park with this, I don't remember how to call it, sorry. And there's also a Russian church, and there, it's a mosque. It's one of the biggest mosques in Europe. And this is highway. This is the city where you can have everything, because we have here this great mosque, and we have here a lot of Russian churches, and we have synagogue, and we have gay club, and we have what we have Volga River, and we have everything here in Russia, and in this Samara city. I mean, we have here everything, and I have here everything at all. That's why I'm living here. It's 1.5 million 1.5 million of people who lives here in this city. It's just, I will never have, I will never know all these people. I can acquaint, I can learn some people every day, and there will be still some Samarians, some citizens of Samara, which I still don't know. And I found here brilliant people, or dreamers, and directors, and actors, and writers, and people of great creativity, artists. They all live here on our worldly shores. So it's inspiring city for me still. And I will show you also the place where I live in it will be the end of this story. I'll show you our summer house. I live there with my friends, just by the river, and it's a place connected with some author. His name is Andrei Temnikov. Here's his book. I have here his book. I have a lot of books there, but it's his book, Funky Fungi. It's a poem of mushrooms. And first of all, you should know that author is not fan of any illegal mushrooms. He wasn't, but if you read this, you will say he was. And the author of this book, he who wrote text, is dead now, and I went into his circle. I live with people who knew him, who were pupils of him, like another writer there in Dacha. And these people made me free, really. You know that I used to live without love. Nobody was wasn't восхищаться. Nobody admired me in my life. My mother is a very strict woman, and I had no father, so I'm unloved child. And there, in my 30s, I find out some love and admiring, and it changed me. It made me more confident as a person, as an artist, because I also try to write some in Russian and in English sometimes. But I can say that it's my hobby or my passion. It's just my life that I write, and it's just sometimes it's just diary, sometimes it's poems, sometimes it's short stories. It always based on my biography, and sometime, almost always, uh, I can't be open about my personal life, not because of me, but because of a lot of other people who take participation in my life. So sometimes I publish my works decade after I wrote it down. If I want, if I still think it's a proper thing, if I still think, but it's rarely, if I think that my old line is true. So I just write. And then I've also find some friends for a year or 2 years. They jugglers and they travelers and they magical people, if you know what I mean. So, and I'm kind of swimmer. I found out now that I'm just a swimmer of in love, and I love people which love me, and there is a lot of them right now, and I try not to communicate with people who make my price lower than I feel it to be. That's what I wanted to say. Before, I just wanted to communicate with people who didn't want to communicate with nobody. And now I just find myself in a great society, in a beautiful community of different people. It's not some certain community, but it's just great personalities with which I have some communication. Well, it's my vlog about my story. I will now put the card out and put some video inside of it, how I sing and how I shoot, and maybe some photos, and maybe it will be much more long. Really, I don't want to stop at all. I just would like to say something more if you want to hear. I'm such a vlogger, you know. Well, what's my name? My name is Коля Комаров. I'm from Russia. Я говорю по-русски лучше, чем по-английски. I speak Russian much better and more fluently. I'm not such a dumb person as you could feel. Могу говорить без остановки. I can speak without non-stop in Russian. Yeah. I really like to speak about my life, and because I feel it's interesting. I would like it to be interesting. You know, it's interesting right now, but about 5 years ago, I still can say, could have said that if I lived life of another person, I would die from boredom. But now I can say that if I live right now the life which I lived 5 years ago, I would say that I would just die from boredom. And I want it to be this way. I want my life to be interesting. I want to investigate myself. I'm such a incredible person. I find so many treasures in me. How cool I am, how interesting I am for myself to investigate and to have a communication and right away, right now. I mean that it's 30 minutes and I just talk and look at myself. Don't want to stop it. Well, I had a temperature yesterday, catch some cold, so I don't like autumn, don't like winter. I like when it's hot. I always catch cold when it's cold, and now it's different because of pandemic. It's not. It could be not be just cold. So I'm just sitting at my place as it was in this heavy spring, and just talk to myself. Don't want to stop it. Don't want to stop it. I just don't want the spring be back. I mean, I've lost some great opportunity in spring, but I don't wait to come back. I don't want quarantine again because it was so painful for me. I don't even want to think about it. It makes me sad. It makes me sad. This summer was great. I had so many great time. I didn't travel far. I've been here at our dacha and at some places, beautiful places. But and now what was I wanted to say? It doesn't matter really, right? Well, who am I? I am cinematographer. What am I? Oh, what am I? It's very difficult to say. Well, I'm doing some things for money, but it doesn't mean that. What am I? I'm cinematographer. That's what am I. What can I say? I'd like to think, you know, it was period of my life when I just used to shoot. I didn't do anything else. I just shoot like a daily routine, like 6 days a week, and it was so heavy. It was difficult to me just to shoot. I in the end of days, in the end of Saturday, I could say that I need to go to sing at church, and I just run from this work to have some change of occupation. So, and now I still live with 2 occupations, and it makes me young, it makes me feel fresh. It doesn't make me professional choir artist or professional cinematographer, professional videographer. I don't want to be professional videographer. I don't want to shoot weddings like a pro. It's not mine at all. You know, my kings, my gods, Fellini, with his poetic, how to say that, impulsive. He was impulsive. He had some script, but he changed it all the time. And I also write some script. I went to the set, I go to the set, and I destroy my script. Some friends of my directors, they say that they hate when they have to change something in their script, in their idea, because when your idea meets the reality, it had to be changed. And for a lot of despotic directors, it's a problem, but not for me. If I write something and I try to film this, I went there and I understand that my script is untrue, and my idea is changed, and I try to find some compromise always at the set, and I always change everything. And Fellini, he went asleep, and in the mornings he had new ideas for the next day of shooting. Well, and if you want to know, my favorite cinematographer is Christopher Doyle, and he's just a free person and free cameraman. He's just he doesn't have any education of cinematography. He just take this camera in his hands, and he is himself. He doesn't shoot like who? He doesn't shoot, for example, me. When I shoot, I sometimes I have some line, some cinematic line, how to say, some cinematic phrase in my head. I saw this похожую, look like scene in the cinema of the past, and I'm trying to reshoot it. For example, when we shoot Salinger in her pretty green eyes, we had a frame, we had a scene which was very like scenes from the marriage of Ingmar Bergman, and I just copied the frame, copied the angle, and I have a lot of these samples in my mind. I have watched a lot of movies, and not once I saw my favorite movies. So and when I watch how I shoot, I feel that I just repeat old themes. Including shooting of Christopher Doyle. But Christopher Doyle, I feel that he is free from these samples. He just takes his camera and just shoot and just film. And sometimes I feel that I'm also free to shoot. And in the end of this film, I will show you my friends on the island. They are remarkable people. They just live on the another shore of our city. You know, we have a city shore. We have a Volga River, and there is a city on one bank, and on another bank there are some islands, and Volga River is like Amazon. It's very rich waters, and there's some islands, half of islands, peninsulas in this great river, great waters. And people from Samara, they leave the city to live there at another shore. Just to live there, to have some wildlife experiences. And in the end of this vlog, I will show you my two, I don't know how to say it, two sequences which I shoot this summer. It's so beautiful. Maybe it's now good. You see this, right? I cut it in, right? It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful sequences. You see, my camera is just flying. It's my best camera work of this year. I love these two frames, two sequences. Well, you see this, you are watching this, and I am shut myself up. Is the end. I would like to have this camera of Sony very much. I will be a great vlogger, as you know. I can talk. Well, bye. Thank you very much, Sony, for this. For, you know, Sony, I'm great fan of Sony. My first camera is Sony, my second camera is Sony, I have speaker Sony, and I have Sony Xperia phone, and I have headphones for diving, and I have headphones, Bluetooth headphones, and I have a lot of stuff from Sony, and I'm very grateful for all these people which with their creativity, which make my creativity work. It's not it maybe looks stupid or like but I think that they doing great work for me, and for everybody, for every person who try, to every photographer, videographer, any this person who try to catch this world, to catch this moment with a moving picture or with a frame. Sony gives us such colors, such opportunities to make it properly. I think Sony engineers, they're doing great work, and I'm just grateful. As I'm grateful for, I'm really grateful person, This day is just so brilliant, and I just want to go to my dacha right now, but I have some work to do and this blog to shoot, and maybe, I don't know. This day is beautiful. This moment in my life is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm so, I don't know, it's maybe just an autumn, but I just want to cry all the time because of beauty and gratitude. I'm really so thankful for everything that happens, and thankful for some things that don't happen. So thank you, Sony, for this hour of me to make myself speak. It's like it's like church, and I want to say something which is on my heart. How to say? It's my confession. Well, it's when you say some your thoughts, they go from your mouth and you say sentences. You make your life more structured. In the end of this, I'd like to read some poetry. Well, it's 54 minutes, and I promise I will stop this record at 1 hour, and I have 6 minutes just to practice my English and you to have some fun, right? You will have a lot of fun. I will just read in English something. I have some poetry. We have a book crossing at the first floor of my house, and I found some supplementary reading book. I have William Blake's poetry in English, and I have James Joyce's poetry in English. And also I have the supplementary book, but I don't know where it is. Where? This is it. Supplementary. No, I'll show that I have James Joyce. I also have Whitman, which I adore. I adore Whitman, but Whitman, his book at our dacha. So, no Whitman, but some poetry from here. So, do you know how to sometimes I ask books to say something for me. For example, I ask, dear book, will I have some sex tonight? Yes, sure. Yeah. Answered one of the gardeners. I think they have even had their dinner here, sir. I promised to write some poetry, and this not poetry, it's a pleasant day with an unpleasant ending. Это Pickwick Club. It's a Pickwick. Some stories from Pickwick's Club. Pickwick. Right. They have some stories here and some poetry. I would like to read some poetry, you know. In the garden, P.B. Shelley. It's good to be back at the soil again, out in the garden to work again. It's good to plant and to sow again, to dig and to rake. Копать и заравнивать граблями. To dig and to rake and to work all day. I am happy and merry. I sing again, because today it is spring again. It's such a joy, it's so beautiful. It's every word, every sentence is about me. It's good to work. What am I doing? I'm just I'm working right now. Why not? It's great. Because today it's spring again. The next is Wind on the Hill by Alexander Allen Milne. No one can tell me, nobody knows, where the wind comes from, where the wind goes. It's flying from somewhere as fast as it can. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep up with it, not if I ran. But if I stopped holding the string of my kite, it would blow with the wind for the day and the night. And then when I found it wherever it blew, I should know that the wind had been going there too. So then I could tell them where the wind goes, but where the wind comes from, nobody knows. So beautiful, wonderful. Burns. Yeah, Burns. A red rose. You know, my battery is almost finished, exhausted. You know, Sony, Sony writes when there is no battery, they write down. Battery is exhausted. So right now the battery would be exhausted. So not 1 hour of block, but till the end of my battery. Okay, which I'm very thankful for Sony. Just как там? Arigato, Sony, for this battery, because the battery is marvelous. It's such a little thing, but I can shoot with it for all day long. It's brilliant. It's impossible. I love it. I would like to buy some more batteries, because sometimes I go, well, I can not to buy it. We can use some charger, some power bank for this, but it's not so convenient, comfortable. So I will stop when my battery will be exhausted. And now some more poetry by Burns about love. A red rose by Robert Burns. Oh, my love's like a red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till as the seas gang dry. Till as the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. Oh, fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while. I will come again, my love, though 'twere 10,000 miles. Oh, such a love. You know how love. Oh, my love's like a red rose. The point of this blog is to say who, what, and where do you live? And I suppose that I will cut inside of this speech something about my life, and it will be voiceover. And what's the point with this poetry? Is this an answer of a question? Yes, it is. Yes, it's poetry. It's about my moment. It's about who am I and where am I. So let's have some joys. Be not sad because all men prefer a lying clamor before you. Sweetheart, be at peace again. Can they dishonor you? They are sadder than all tears. Their lives ascend as a continual sigh. Proudly answer to their tears, as they deny. Вот так. Be at peace again. Can they dishonor you? If I fail in this contest of Sony, I don't care. At the beach at Fontana, wind winds the shingle, the crazy pier stakes groan, as senile seas numbers each single slime silvered stone. From whining wind and colder grey sea I wrap him warm, and touch his trembling fine-boned shoulder and boyish arm. Around us, fear descending, darkness of fear above, and in my heart how deep, unending ache of love. Do you want to listen it in Russian? На берегу у фонтана. Над пирсом ветер воет, прибою грозен рев, песком и грязной пеной море моет горсть волнов. Я чувствую зловещий холодный тьмы порыв, дрожащие мальчишеские плечи от шквала заслонив. Под нами стонут сваи, темна небесью доль, а в сердце бесконечная слепая любовь и боль. They say that Joyce is such a haha, like насмешливый, that he's just a joker, you know, that he is heartless and shameless, but he is not. He loves people, he loves life, he just free. He wanted to be free as an artist, I remember. He wanted to be an artist first of all. It was his purpose. And I love Finnegan's Wake. It makes me drunk. I just take a book. We have some kind of translation. We have 40 pages of we have a long translation which is not so poetic and not so I don't feel it's deep, and also we have 40 pages of poetic translation by great Russian poet. And when I took this book, took this translation and just read it, and it makes me drunk, just as some wine. Well, William Blake. Do you know my poetry? You know? William Blake, do you know my poetry? Поехали. Some William Blake here. Ta-da-dan, tan, ta-da-dan. Ta-da-dan, ta-ra-ta-ta-da-dan. Po-ro-ro-po-po-po. To-ro-to-to. To-ro-to. 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 Po-pum. Pum-pum-pum. Po-ro-to. La 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 la. Songs of Experience. Introduction. Hear the voice of the bird, who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked among the ancient trees, calling the lapsed soul and weeping in the evening dew that might control the starry pole and fallen light renew. O earth, return. Arise from out the dewy grass. Night is worn, and the morn rises from the slumberous mass. Turn away no more. Why wilt thou turn away? The starry floor, the watery shore, is given thee till the break of day. Earth answer. Earth raised up her head from the darkness dread and drear. Her light fled, stony dread, and her locks covered with great despair. Prisoned on the watery shore, starry jealousy does keep my den cold and hoar. Weeping o'er, I hear the father of the ancient men, selfish father of men, cruel, jealous, selfish fear, can delight, chained in night, the virgins of youth and morning beer. Thus spring hides its joy, when buds and blossoms grow. Does the sour by night, or the plowman in darkness plow? Break this heavy chain that does freeze my bones around. Selfish, vain, eternal bane, that free love with bondage bound. The clod and the pebble. Love seeketh not itself to please, not for itself has any care, but for another gives it ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. So sang a little clod of clay, trodden with the cattle's feet, but a pebble of the brook warbled out this mattress meet. Love seeketh only self to please, to bind another to its delight, joys in another loss of ease, and builds a hell in heaven's despite. Holy Thursday. Is this a holy thing to see? In a rich and fruitful land, babes reduced to misery, fed with cold and usurious hand. Is that trembling cry a song? Can it be a song of joy? And so many children poor, is it a land of poverty? And their sun does never shine, and their fields are bleak and bare, and their ways are filled with thorns. Is it eternal winter there? For wherever the sun goes, for wherever the sun does shine, and wherever the rain does fall, babe can never hunger there, nor poverty the mind appel. Oh, let's have some Whitman. How do you think? Whitman. I have some Whitman here, you know? in my phone. Walt Whitman. Song of myself. There will. Oh. Who, what, where, Sony. Song of myself. I celebrate myself and thank myself for what I assume and you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I love and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents, born here from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, I'm just happy because of this. I now 37 years old in perfect health begin, hoping to cease not till death. Creeds and schools in abeyance, retiring back a while, sufficed at what they are, but never forgotten. I harbor for good or bad. I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check with original energy. Houses and rooms are full of perfumes. The shelves are crowded with perfumes. I breathe